You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, Fish fans? Welcome to another episode of your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Look at me shining up in here. And also just checking out that level, making sure it's not too hot for you. You know what I mean? If you can't take the heat, get you at the kitchen. We on a mission. Yeah, the Marlins on a mission. Nice road trip. Nice ending to the road trip. They finished 2-1 in San Fran. They split the season series with the Giants, who are desperately trying to do something to hold on to their spot in the playoff race. And whenever you got a team that's literally fighting for its life and you are stomping the life out of it, that's a good thing. And man, I'll tell you what. And what a great day for the Marlins today. And a nice win. I mean, Stowers and Fortes and McCacken and Fauché. A nice job by Miami today, literally, and a good win. So they take 2 out of 3 in San Fran. They hit the bricks. You got Labor Day tomorrow. That's a beautiful stadium. I'll tell you, that's one of the stadiums that I love the most from the time it was built. First time that I went to Pacific Bell Park, which Pac Bell Park, and obviously what it was back then. And I apologize, guys. I got to change the score there. For some reason, I left the 4. So I'm just going to replace that here in a second. But man, oh man, when you go to that place in San Francisco, when you see that bay, when you see that water, and man, it just is, it does something to you. It's a beautiful city. And you know, obviously there's a lot of things that have happened over the years there and a lot of stuff that's changed, but it's still San Francisco, you know, and you think about the history there, Haight and Asbury, and you think of all the hippies and all the change that had come through there and from there. And yeah, man, it really is dope. And I love that city. I've always loved San Francisco. And, you know, it's a shame that you only go there once a year. That's the, you know what I mean? That's the hard part for the Marlins. Like, going there once a year is a little tough. It really is. It's a little tough. And, you want to go there more often. I literally just, there we go. Got it. I just love San Francisco. I haven't been to the Warriors, the Dubs new building yet, but I've been to Pac Bell Park. I'll always call it that a million times. I remember, and I'll tell you a quick story, and then we'll get into the show, okay? I remember going there in the year 2000. Remember Conan O'Brien used to do that? In the year 2000. I don't know, all throughout the 90s. And it was a skit he did on a Late Night with Conan O'Brien. But I went to Pac Bell Park in the year 2000. I was the play-by-play voice of a minor league independent baseball team called the Valley Vipers, playing out of Scottsdale, Arizona. The manager was Bob Welch, the old Dodger who struck out Reggie in the World Series, won the Cy Young with the A's in 1990. We had Steve Ontiveros on our team, a former Major League pitcher with the A's and other teams. We had Lee Tinsley, former Red Sox, who hit 363 and beat Edgar Martinez for the batting title one year. Had a Xavier Edwards-like year, and it was in the early to mid-90s with Tinney. And RIP to both Welchie and Tinney. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us, but that was the league. You remember Kevin Mitchell played in that league after his career at the Mets, and he punched an owner. Well, I was selected to be the play-by-play voice for the All-Star game that year, and I got to do an inning with Kevin Mitchell, who was in full-blood getup. I'm talking to the Western Baseball League Independent League All-Star game in Chico, California. Kevin Mitchell was blooded out. The rag in his pocket, the shirt, the kicks, everything. He's a blood. Grew up in San Diego as a blood. Crazy dude. But I got to do an inning of play-by-play with Kevin Mitchell, which was a lot of fun. And, you know, Wally Backman was a manager in that league, and Jeffrey Leonard was a manager in that league. And it was just really cool to see what the Giants were able to do with that area, because they had 4 teams in that Northern California area, and the Giants were the major league team at the time, and obviously the A's. But so what we did, Welchie had been close with Dusty Baker when they played for the Dodgers, and Dax Jones, who played for the Vipers, had been on the Giants in the past, was tight with Barry Bonds, maybe the only former teammate or teammate who was tight with Barry Bonds. Love Barry. Well, Dax hit Barry up before we went to the road trip. We're up in Northern California, Valley Vipers, shout out to the Vipes. And we go to Pac Bell Park. We go in the clubhouse, right? And we go into that locker room. Remember, the Giants were good in 2000, right? This is the Giants with Bonds, with Jeff Kent, right? This is a good team. Very good team. Rich Aurelia, you remember the Giants at that time. Well, anyway, we go, and there's probably 30 of us, right? They have us in the clubhouse before the game. Barry Bonds signed a bat for every player on the team. The Giants guys were signing stuff, giving them stuff. Bonds gave Dax a jersey, I think, or whatever it was, batting gloves, handed out, and then we got tickets to the game, man. And Dusty Baker gave our guys a little lecture talking about playing with Bobby Welch or for him. And, man, that was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had, like being front and center. The tickets were great. We were up top behind home plate. You could see everything up there. It was beautiful, right below the press box, and I'll never forget that. And a beautiful place to take 2 out of 3 from a team like the Gents, who are playing like anything but Giants right now. And how good do you feel for Kyle Stowers, right? Kyle Stowers brings the powers. Behave, baby. With a 3-run homer tonight, the Marlins beat the Giants 7-5. Now, check this out. Their first series win in more than a month. Stowers played at Stanford, which is in the Bay Area, right, in Palo Alto. And so he had a lot of friends and family there. It's a 3-run homer in the 5th inning. Now, literally, and I might say Brandon Webb once or twice here on the show. I've done a lot of work with him over the years when I lived in Arizona. But Logan Webb, 11-9 on the year, 6 runs and 8 hits at 6 innings. Only the 3rd time this year he's given up 5 runs or more. And he was dealing. He was cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to. But you know what I'm saying, right? Stowers powers, 3-run homer, and he gave up a lot of runs tonight, speaking of Webb, and that's a guy who doesn't usually do it. The Giants, I said, are fighting for their playoff lives, and I'll get into that more. Un momento, por favor. Nick Fortes, 3 hits, 2 runs scored for Miami. Not bad for a catcher. Good offensive day. They won for the 3rd time in 4 games. They go to Colorado, Rocky Mountain High, San Francisco. Okay, so they go to San Francisco. They go from Colorado to San Francisco, right? So literally in that environment in San Fran, the Giants weren't playing very well going in. They lost for the 4th time in 5 games. Their chances are just sinking for that 3rd NL wild card. And, you know, I mean, the last time the Marlins won a series, late July in Milwaukee against another first-place team, the Brewers. Not another first-place team, a first-place team in the Brewers. And Bob Melvin, the Giants manager, saying it's probably as bad a loss as his team's had all year. 6 runs and 8 innings for Logan Webb, struck out 4, walked nobody. Was working on a shutout. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? Anything can happen anytime in Major League Baseball. We know this, right? We know how that goes, working on a shutout. 2 outs in the 5th, 2 down in the 5th inning. How many times have we seen it with the Marlins this year? And this dude's an ace, right? Fortes, RBI single, right? Keeps the inning going, and here comes Stowers. Bang, 440 feet, right center field, 7-game hit streak now in the leadoff spot today. The Marlins had a 4-2 lead at that point. And just like yesterday in the win, yesterday's game, every time the Giants get closer, the Marlins score again. And really, the key to that whole inning with the RBI single and then the homer for Stowers with, you know, I mean, back-to-back like that, the whole key with Fortes with the RBI single, the whole key in that inning was a bad throw by Webb to second base. Jose Devers with a ground ball right back to Webb, and he could have turned a double play that would have ended the inning in the 5th. Bad throw leads to runs, and yeah, it really, and he took the heat. He said after the game, he said, yo, it's my fault. We scored 5 runs. We scored early. I was in a good spot. I had good stuff. He just kind of blew the game today in his mind. He had a 1.70 ERA coming into this game over his last 6 outings, and they got him. You know, you beat an ace like that, that gives you a lot of confidence. I want to see what the Marlins do with this. You got the Nats coming in, swat the Nats, get them away from you. Then you got the Phils. The Phils getting some steam going, playing against the Braves this weekend, and the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? It would only be a matter of time before the Dodgers and Phillies got it going again. And I still thought the Padres might win that division, and we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show as well. Where are we on time? All right, we got a little bit of time left in this segment, you know, and man, just Webb's sinker is as good as it gets in Major League Baseball. But the changeup elevated a little bit too much as the game went on today. You know, if you're playing below the zone, you're just going to ground all day long. And Stowers was able to do it, and he's in that zone right now too. You know, Yastrzemski, Yaz hit a homer for San Fran. Mark Canha's RBI single. How about Jonah Bride and Jesus Sanchez, the insurance run? Jonah Bride with a double. Jesus Sanchez scored the run. And then Sanchez had a sacrifice fly in the 7th that gave them their final run that made it 7-5. How about that? Otto Lopez, the run-scoring ground out, 6-5 lead there, and then Sanchez with the sac fly made it 7-5. And Xavier Curry made his ML debut Saturday night, 1 2/3 innings, scoreless relief today for the win. And Calvin Fauché, 6 saves this season, struck out the side, has not allowed a home run all year. We're going to dig deep into Fauché, and we're going to talk about his year and what he's done. And how about Yastrzemski, the grandson of the great Carl Yastrzemski? Yes, remember I grew up in Connecticut, New England. I used to hold the bat like this out in front, high in the air, twirl it, high, twirl it, boom, Triple Crown winner in 1967. The Yastrzemskis are the fourth grandfather duo to have at least 100 home runs in their MLB careers, and I guess it was Yastrzemski's homer today, his 100th. Interesting. Yaz was a fixture at Fenway Park. My whole family, Red Sox fans, growing up. And how about Darren McCacken from Miami? McLovin made his first start of the season, second career start, 3 earned runs in 4 innings. Not going to make a whole heck of a lot more if he keeps that up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing. But he was recalled from AAA Jacksonville with Johnny Pereda, who's been up and down and up and down and up and down and all around. And yeah, there you go. All right, up next for Miami, they face the Nats. I told you, 2-game series beginning Tuesday with Max Meyer, 3-4 with a 5.44, scheduled to start the first game for Miami. The Giants host the Diamondbacks, 3-game series starting Tuesday as well. Yeah, that is going to be a tough one for San Francisco. The Diamondbacks coming off a bad weekend. We'll look at the scoreboard. We'll look at the races. We'll look at a whole bunch of things. But your Miami Marlins with a big win tonight, 7-5 over the San Francisco Giants, those Gigantes. In San Francisco, they fall to 68-70 and 39-30 at home. I am Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. You're watching Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Coming back, Nick Fortestic. How about the Marlins catcher today? Nick Fortes, been a good year for him. Jesus and Jonah, the insurance for those guys. Fauché all day. We're going to look at his numbers. And yeah, happy Labor Day is coming up with the Marlins doing work. You're watching Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to thank you for making us your first watch and first listen every day. We're free wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. And today's show is powered by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. Also now, right? We're having a great time here. Locked On Marlins Postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Got a lot more coming your way when we return. And I'm not really going anywhere. Just some green, I guess we'll call it some branding, some imaging there as we get into, yeah, I'll tell you what, man, what a time this is for you. You got football coming, college football. The University of Miami, a huge win, 41-17 over the Gators in Florida to start the season. Number 19 surely will be moving up a lot in the polls after that win against Florida in Gainesville, and then the Dolphins getting it going next week against Jacksonville and then Buffalo. You got Trevor Lawrence coming in Sunday, Josh Allen coming in Thursday, and what a time of year this is, because, man, you got football, you got baseball in full swing with races, playoffs coming up, all sorts of things coming your way. We're going to give you the rankings on the show because they are updated with Miami. And just a minute, we will do that. But first thing first, need to tell you about my friends at FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. It is America's #1 sports book. You know what? I love going to the FanDuel. There's one in the arena and a lot of arenas. I love going and doing that in the arena. I love the facilities they have, the little like cafes they do. And it is America's #1 sports book, right? Well, we have something a little different from you from FanDuel. And I've played FanDuel for years with bonuses, extra wins, all sorts of stuff they do for you. Well, guess what they're doing now at FanDuel? Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers, every single one, can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Did you hear what I just said? 3 weeks free NFL Sunday Ticket Every game, out-of-market games, red zone, everything they give you with NFL Sunday Ticket, you're going to get for 3 weeks free, YouTube and YouTube TV. Then at the end of the 3 weeks, you can do what I do because I'm in this deal too. You're going to get a YouTube TV base plan so you can watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. That's right. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Fins fans from all over the world, you know what to do. FanDuel.com right now. 3-week free trial, NFL Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV. Cancel anytime, but you never will because FanDuel is the one hooking you up. And what a deal this is. And all that action that you get on the games, you can watch them all on NFL Sunday Ticket with a 3-week free trial, YouTube and YouTube TV from FanDuel. All you have to do, visit FanDuel.com. Join me in this promotion on FanDuel. Win some money. Have some fun. Get the trial. Visit FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel. Unreal, right? The Miami Hurricanes were a 2.5-point favorite at Florida, and they ended up, winning that game by a lot more. And that was easy money, man. That was easy money for me. Hopefully for you too. So let's see. All right, here we go. The rankings came back out. Georgia still number 1. Ohio State still number 2. They all beat up on the weak sisters of the blind. Texas did as well. Ole Miss, they beat Furman 76-0. Alabama beat Western Kentucky. Not a lot of teams moving in the polls. With USC with a nice win over LSU. The Canes moved up though. Penn State, Oregon, they're not in the top 10. Missouri, Oklahoma, Utah, none of them beat anybody like Florida. Tennessee, Michigan. They beat Fresno State 30-10. Big whoop-de-doo. Oklahoma State 1-0. Miami is 16. Ahead of LSU, who's 0-1. So I'm glad they're ahead of them. But Miami's number 16. Nice job by the Canes moving up in the rankings after that win. An even more incredible job done today by the Marlins in San Francisco. And a great job all the way across the board. And McCacken was good, but the bullpen. We need to talk about this bullpen in a minute. But first things first, we're going to talk about that rundown on the right-hand side. You see there, Stowers Powers. We talked about Kyle Stowers, left fielder, playing hitting leadoff today. He went 1 for 4 with a walk, scored a run, but he drove in 3 with a big home run in the 5th inning off of Logan Webb, who was cruising until that 5th inning. We're going to look at that 5th inning in depth in a moment. So Stowers Powers, baby, the 3-run jack, the 7-game hit streak, and I'm going to give you some more because that's what we do on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We give you an embarrassment of riches and numbers. Since August 25th, on the 7-game hit streak, Kyle Stowers is hitting .393. That's 11 for 28 with 9 RBIs and a 1.183 OPS. Nice job by him and really pumped for him. Sanchez, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Hill was 0 for 4. Berger not in the lineup today. Bride 1 for 4, had that big RBI double. Sanchez with the sac fly gave him the insurance run in the 7th that made it 7-5. Griffin Conine, 2 more hits today, hitting 300. Otto Lopez 0 for 4 with an RBI. Devers, the cousin of Rafael Devers from the Red Sox, Jose Devers 1 for 4 with a run scored. Let's hope he's, man, I'll tell you what. It'd be nice if he was in. Devers is a really good player on the Red Sox, obviously. Hensley went 1 for 4 with a run scored after driving in a run yesterday with an RBI ground out. And then Fortes, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. So between Stowers and Fortes, Fortestic as a catcher, you know what? Nick Fortes has games like this pretty often. And I don't know, man. I want to look at his games because he's a 224 hitter. He's got 3 homers. But every once in a while, he'll throw like on August 26th, 2 for 3 against Colorado. On the 19th, 2 for 3 against Arizona. 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored against Atlanta. 3-hit game, 2-hit game, 2-hit game, 2. It's like he gets no hits or 2 hits or 3 hits. He has like a bad game or he has a really good game offensively. And a nice job by Fortes tonight. Very, very happy with him and what he's been doing behind the plate. You got Parada coming back. Bethancourt was optioned earlier in the year. And Fortes has been the guy back there. Really good job by him. So I had to mention him. Had to give him some love and some flowers out there. Along with Stowers Powers, give him flowers. Behave, baby. Behave. You know what I'm saying? Behave. So there you go. Let's look at I had Calvin Fauché for you. Dude, this is awesome. Calvin Fauché, and I pulled up his games, right? So here's what Fauché has done, okay? Calvin Fauché is now the closer for the Marlins. Obviously, picked up his 6th save tonight, saved yesterday's game. He's got 2 in a row. So Calvin Fauché has not given up a hit in 3 straight appearances. He had a little bit of a rough stretch where he gave up 3 runs in 2 innings on the 21st and the 25th in back-to-back appearances. But other than that, aside from August 2nd, he gave up 3 runs against the Braves in an inning, and then 1 run on the 25th against the Cubs, 2 runs on the 21st against the Diamondbacks, okay? And then he gave up 1 run July 25th against the Orioles, 2 on the 4th, 1 on the 3rd of July against the Red Sox, 1 run against the Phillies on June 28th. You see what I'm saying? Like, got to go all the way back to the 18th and the 17th before that. He has not allowed a home run all year. You want to know his line, his numbers? 52 2/3 innings, 48 hits, 25 runs, right? So a run every other inning, less than a run every other inning. 19 of those are earned. Okay, 19 of the 25. He's walked 25, struck out 62. 47 ground balls, 44 fly balls, 964 pitches. No home runs. Not 1 home run. And a 1-2-3 ninth today, striking out the side again for Fauché. Again, bro. This dude has been so good all year for the Marlins. And with Tanner Scott being gone, like, it really is nice to see Fauché out there dealing the way that he has been. Remember, he came over with Brujan in the trade from Tampa Bay, and he and Brujan have had good years for the Marlins. Really good years for Miami. So good job by Fauché. Had to throw him in there with Fortes and with Stowers, Powers, Sanchez, and Bride, the insurance agency tonight. Nice job by Miami there. And you know what's interesting too? 4 for 7 today for Miami with runners in scoring position. Better than 500. You're going to win almost every game when that happens. Giants 1 for 6. That's pretty awesome. McCacken went 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Emmanuel, 1 earned run and a third of an inning. But then Curry and Bauman and McMillan and Fauché, 4 2/3 innings. No hits, no runs. All of them. Look at this. 9 strikeouts. 9 in 4 2/3 innings. That's like literally 2 below the minimum hitters. So they struck out 7 of the 9 outs that they recorded. No, 9 outs, 11 outs. They struck out 7 of them. No, I'm sorry. They struck out 9 of the 11 hitters they faced. I promise I'll be okay. It's a holiday weekend. They struck out 9 of the 11 hitters they faced. And I should have thrown them on the rundown too. Curry, Bauman, McMillan, and Fauché. Dude, just balling and dealing. What a job by them. When we come back, we'll look at the scoring. We'll look at the series between the 2 teams this season. Take a look ahead to the Nats on Tuesday. Happy Labor Day. We'll wish you that. And we'll look at the lines for the game as well. And then we will look ahead at the score. We'll look at the scoreboard and we'll look ahead to some of the other big series coming up this week. You're watching Locked On Marlins POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Be right back. That fast. Look at that. Oh, man, how awesome is that? I love going to live events. You know this, right? I talk about it every single day, no matter what kind. I've been to everything as a kid and adult, go everywhere. I saw Motley Crue 28 times. I saw LL Cool J when I was 14 years old. I'll tell you what, I've been to concerts. I've been everything you can imagine, comedy shows, games of every kind. I've been to the Olympics. I've been to every sporting event you could possibly imagine, and I never get tired of making new memories. I have 2 sons and my daughter. Well, I'll tell you what, with Game Time, it makes it so much easier than I've ever had it in my life as a sports fan. No more waiting at the box office. No more getting your tickets in the mail. No more worried about losing them. No more paper tickets for that matter. It's unbelievable. Game Time Picks is a game changer. Brand new feature with Game Time. It makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. You want to know why? You want to know how? Of course you do. It's why you're here. It's why I'm here. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff. Okay? It filters out the fluff. It shows you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They make it so much easier for you. And how about Game Time's 50% off Labor Day offer for Diamondbacks Dodgers? Absolutely a great deal. as well, with the races heating up. No series bigger than that one this weekend, and I'm really excited about some of the great seats for these games that are coming up. And you got the Nationals coming in town, then you got the Phillies. Go see the Phillies, man. Turner and Harper and Schwarber, and oh man, that's a great team. So you're going to want to go see the Phillies, for example, right? I mean, curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The super deals there all the time. You can view all the seats before you buy right in the app. You get the lowest price guarantee, the event cancellation protection, the job loss protection with Game Time. How about that? Curation makes it easier with Game Time picks the priority, makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and all that, as well as all-in pricing. You get everything up front. If you want to roll that way, no surprise fees at checkout. Again, the seat views, the lowest price guarantee, the Game Time ticket coverage, all those things are huge with Game Time. So all that means for you is that you get to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Everything handled for you. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? Game Time on the Locked On Podcast Network. Real quick, thank you for making Locked On Marlins Postcast your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast with Sully. He's going to get you ready for the Fall Classic. He's got it covered every single day. You can find the Locked On MLB in the description, the link, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Pumped to be here as always with you. The Canes with the win yesterday. The Dolphins opening up on Sunday and playing again on Thursday. Football fever, football frenzy is gripping South Florida as the Marlins play out the string. We will be here every day after the Marlins games. We'll be here every week after the Dolphins, after the Canes, and yes, we will be here when basketball starts for the Heat as well. But with Alex Dono, Locked On Canes, with Kyle and Locked On Dolphins, and myself with the Postcast, big numbers on the Canes this weekend. Big numbers. Thank you, Miami, and Miami fans all over the world. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. And before I get out of here, I am going to tell you a little bit of Miami wins this series 2-1. The Giants had won 2 out of 3 in Miami earlier this year. And the Giants were a big favorite today at minus 275 with the over-under set at 7.5. So if you took the Marlins in the over against Logan Webb, you were brave, but they got it done. All right, real quick, let's take a look at the scoreboard before we bounce on out of here, and then we'll look at the standings as well. So here we go. Yo. So what's the scoreboard say? Yo. All right. Cardinals 14, Yankees 7. Oh, good Lord. How about that, man? Slugfest in New York, and the Yankees lose again. More on that in a minute. Brewers lose to the Reds, 65-73 for Cincinnati. Love Ellie De La Cruz. The Brewers in complete control in the NL Central, and the Reds won it in the 11th inning today. Cubs 14, Nationals 1. The Nats just got pounded by Chicago, not playing well as they get set to come into Miami, but the Marlins have not played them well at all. Tigers beat the Red Sox 4-1. Pirates and Guardians 6-1. Cleveland 78-59. Man, the Pirates, since the trade deadline, they are literally 10 games under 500 now. Padres got a win in Tampa Bay. Tanner Scott got the win, former Marlin, for San Diego. Astros 7, Royals 2, slip slide, no way in KC. The Mets shut out the White Sox. 2-zip. The bags on the fans' head. Manaea with the win there for New York. Diaz the save. Blue Jays Twins, the Twinkies up 4-3. And that went final there. The Rangers beat the A's 6-4. Orioles 6, Rockies 1, 79-59 for the O's. They are a half game behind the Yankees in the AL East after that one. And then you got, of course, Marlins 7, Giants 5. We've been talking about this one for a moment here. Angels beat the Mariners in a terrible year for them. They're 57-80, but they beat them 3-2 today. The Mariners in first place still, I believe, in the West. We'll get to that in a minute. Diamondbacks pounded the Dodgers 14-3, but a day after, the Dodgers had won a big game. They won the first game of the series and the second game of the series to take a 5-game lead yesterday when it could have been a 3-game lead. And now it's back to a 4-game lead, but could have been a 2-game lead. You know what I'm saying? So the Dodgers beating up on the D-backs a little bit over the weekend, even though they lost today. Big to Arizona, busted out the whooping sticks today as well. And then the Phillies, They won in the 11th inning. Nick Castellanos with an RBI single. Walk it off. Now West Side walk it off. Now East Side walk it off. And the Phillies walk it off over the Braves to go to 81-56. And they have been smoking Atlanta all year. A 19-game swing in the standings from a year ago to now for the Phillies. All right, here you go. Last things last. Grease freaks all the standings. Okay, Yankees 79-58, Orioles 79-59, half game lead for the Bombers. All right, so that one's going to go down to the wire, through the wire, to the limit. Guardians, though, lead shrinking over the Twins and the Royals. They're each 3.5 back as the Guardians have gone 5-5 in their last 10, but the Twinkies and the Royals 4-6 and 3-7. Yikes! Look up for the Tigers, though, 70-68, 8-2 in their last 10, 8.5 out. Astros, man, they were 12-24 to start the year. Unbelievable. They're not cheating anymore either, at least that we know. 75-62 after that win today, man. They got the 6-game lead over the Mariners, who have been slip-sliding themselves. Then we'll get to the National League East last. Of course, you got the West with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. And I'm going to look at the schedule in just a second. But those two teams, the Dodgers have won 2 out of 3 this weekend. And, man, I am looking forward to, let's see, MLB scores. Hold on. MLB scores, almost there. Got off the standings for a second to get to the scores, and we're looking at tomorrow. Oh, no, Monday, September 2nd. Here we go, Monday, September 2nd. Yeah, we'll get to the slate of games in just a minute. Yeah, that the Dodgers and Diamondbacks are wrapping that one up. The Phillies and Braves are done. Okay, more on that in just a minute. Some teams are starting new series. Some teams are finishing up their previous series, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But real quick, when we're looking at the here we go. We're looking at the standings. Where are we at here? One more time. And we are live, of course. But yeah, so the Dodgers with a 5-game lead over the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And, you know, I mean, I thought the Padres might catch them, but you got, you know, I mean, obviously you'd have to have a hell of a month to overcome a 5-game deficit. But look at the playoffs that are shaping up now. Brewers 9-game lead over the Cubs. No one else from that division is going to make the playoffs the way it looks right now, because you got the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Braves and Mets all with more wins than the Cubs, who are in second place in the Central behind the Brew Crew. So you got the Phillies 7-game lead over the Braves. Nice job this weekend padding that a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10, as are the Dodgers and the Brewers. The cream starting to rise back to the top. Isn't it funny how that works? And let's take a look at tomorrow's action that is set to take place before we get on out of here. Yankees, Rangers, Garrett Cole. Will the real Garrett Cole please stand up? Maybe this is the real Garrett Cole. All right, the Yankees struggling a little bit over the weekend against the Cards. They play the Rangers. Remember, they only have a half-game lead in the East now over the O's. Cardinals, Brewers getting going tomorrow. White Sox, Orioles. The Orioles get a series against the White Sox while the Yanks have to play the Rangers. 31-107. The White Sox are 13-53 on the road. Guardians, Royals going at it. Astros, Reds. Tigers, Padres starting up a series. Twins and Rays doing the same. Mariners, A's, Red Sox, and Mets linking up, and Pirates, Cubs. The Dodgers and Diamondbacks finishing up their series. That is a 1:10 Pacific start, 4:10. Ooh, maybe I should go to that game. 50% off on game time. 50% off. Anyway, there you have it. Flaherty and Rodriguez, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. 7-5, they beat the Giants. And Stowers, Powers, Nick Fortes, Tick, Jesus, and Jonah Insurance. Fauché all day has been great all month without Tanner Scott. Series win. And one more thing before we go. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Love you, Mad Dog, but also want to let you know that I wish you a happy Labor Day. And it's one of those things in this country, and I grew up in the Northeast, right? It's a little different in Florida and some of the warmer places, but when you think about Memorial Day to Labor Day as the summer, right, in most of this country, and living in Miami, it's a little different, you know, but the first Monday of September, it's celebrated to honor the American labor movement and the works and contributions of laborers to the developments and achievements of the United States. So to all of you out there, every one of you who works hard every day to make this place better, to make your life better. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy it. And we will talk to you on Tuesday after the Marlins take on the Nationals. And that first pitch of that game, I believe on Tuesday with Max Meyer pitching, is going to be at Wait. I'm not going anywhere until I tell you. There it is. There it is. And it'll be 6:40 on Tuesday. Meyer and Corbin, 6:40 on Wednesday. Beozo and Gore. Then Oler, Suarez, Cabrera, Wheeler, and TBD against Nola. And then Meyer against TBD for the 4-gamer against the Phils coming in this weekend. Phillies still coming in. Dodgers still coming in. Braves still coming in. You got some really good home series left this season. You want to get out to Lone Depot Park for that. Nats, Tuesday and Wednesday, middle of the week. Cool. Phillies for 4. Then you still have the Dodgers, Braves coming in town. That's going to be dope to end up the season. All right, we are done. Locked On Marlins Postcast. Thanks for hanging with us tonight with all the stuff that's been going on. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. So pumped to have you here. As always, thank you for making Locked On Marlins Postcast your first listen today. Now go check out Locked On MLB Podcast with Sully. Don't forget Alex with the Canes, Kyle with the Dolphins, Peter with the Marlins, and me with the Postcast. It's like the triangle, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the rock in here. And that is all there is to it today. Thank you so much for being here, Fish fans. Keep your game tight and your mind right. 7-5 win in San Fran. I'm out.